Welcome back, everyone, to the Broken Arrow Pulse podcast. My name is Jack Harjo. Today, co-hosting with me will be Ethan Purnell.
What's up, y'all? What's up?
Today, we have two great guests, and starting it off will be Miss Majors. She's a forensic science and zoology teacher. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Miss Major, and it's zoology. There's only two O's in it.
Oh,
so yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm
Correction
sorry
already,
about
right
that.
off the bat.
yeah. Already started off wrong.
Well, I mean,
I'm
you
a
know.
teacher. I have to correct these things,
Yeah,
right? That's
of
my
course.
job.
So we are going to start off with some introductory questions because me and Jack have both taken forensic science, and I think that's the more interesting of the classes you teach. To be honest with you, well, I mean, how do you feel about it? 'Cause
Well, I like both of them. I mean, this is my first year teaching, but I like animals. I like learning about animals, and the more in depth that I get with all of the lessons, the more I'm learning, and that's always been my thing. And I'm doing that with forensics as well. So actually being able to learn on the job has been fantastic. So but I wouldn't say that one is more interesting than the other. They're just different. But
oh,
Do you have a favorite?
you know, you like teaching forensic science more.
Yeah, there's
well,
Yeah.
I do have a bit more background in forensic science. So with my psychology degree, I'm more interested in that overall, but I still think zoology is a really interesting subject, and if they allow me to, I will definitely continue to teach it as well.
okay.
So, how many years have you been teaching here?
This is my second year.
This is your second year.
Feels like my 20th though because Corona.
Yeah.
How hard was that last year to be a first-year teacher in Corona?
I feel like now I can probably handle anything that gets thrown my way.
Yeah, you feel kind of indestructible a little
Right.
bit after that.
If I can survive that, I can pretty much survive anything. So, but I mean, I adapted, I adjusted, and that's just what we do as humans.
Do you feel like you adjusted to doing virtual school more than like doing online? Because that was just like your first experiences like teaching here.
Probably not. I enjoy being in person a lot more. Virtual felt difficult for me because one, I had to be on a microphone and a camera looking at myself, and so it's hard not to just look at yourself while you're talking and pick apart everything that you're saying and doing. I started many recordings over.
Oh.
In going back to forensics, what does that class explore?
Oh, goodness. We explore as much of the different fields of forensics that we possibly can. We go through from anthropology to, I do take it into the forensic psychology aspect because, again, that's what I know. So we just try to cover as many of the different fields as many as we possibly can because there are so many different fields.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's a lot.
And I'm just in the first semester of it.
Right.
But I mean, Jack has taken the whole class, so like what
What did you learn,
yeah,
Jack?
what is that like? What was that like, Jack?
So we definitely did focus more on like the psychology aspect of it, like
Good.
in terms of like the thoughts of the criminals and like the investigative like mindset to have, which I felt like that was probably the most enjoyable part of it because we definitely got to like we watched like a lot of like different types of serial killer videos and like had to like do analysis and like kind of do our own breakdown of it, and I felt like that was really fun.
Well, you made it sound like I actually taught you something.
I know,
Whoa,
right?
impressive.
Can't make it sound like
You're
it was
great.
just
That's-
easy
yeah.
or something.
So I did like to focus on because again, I'm going to stick with what I know, and so we'd watch videos and talk about like different techniques we could use and different like. I know they're saying this, but let's explore that a little bit more.
What experiments or explorations do you go through throughout the course of your forensic science class?
We tend to do a lot. We weren't able to do as much last year because we had to make sure there was a lot of social distancing, and then a lot of it was virtual, so it's kind of hard to do hands-on things. But we try to do fingerprint labs, try to do hair labs, try to do, you get evidence from your place and bring it in. I'm trying to incorporate a lot more crime scene investigation type stuff into the curriculum as we go along. But with this being my first year as the lead forensics teacher, because, Mr. Phillips passed away over the summer, and I was following him last year. So this year, I'm the head, which is terrifying. It
Crazy.
was a terrible idea for them
Great.
and me. But so I'm able to kind of adapt it and throw stuff in and grow the curriculum as best I can. And so trying real hard.
Well, you're doing a great job. I can honestly
you.
say you are doing a great job, and I think Jack would agree with me. Yeah.
Yeah, I must agree. And
Aw.
we didn't get to do this last year, but I saw it and I've heard nothing but cool like talks about it. Is the like dead body.
Yeah.
I
Bartholomew, he's in my closet right now.
Is there a story to that? Like I said, I didn't get to do it
Wait.
last year in forensics, and I know there's probably a bunch of other students that just kind of saw that and didn't get the background.
And they were very sad.
Yeah. So you want to talk about that? Like, what was it?
So it was just basically it was just a cursory, like, here's a crime scene. Look at it. What are we going to do? How are we going to secure it? How are we going to photograph it? It was just mostly getting into the little basics of crime scene investigation. There wasn't much put into it except I threw a bunch of blood and a bunch of hair all over it. And then we...
I mean, that's forensic science for you, to be honest. It's a bunch of blood and hair and examining and
a note
microscopes.
tucked in the pocket blaming Greg. It's Greg's fault.
So
Who is Greg? We don't know.
So we're not just like focused on because although like me and him are both biased towards forensics because we think that's more interesting, we should probably give a shining to like zoology. Right? So do y'all explore any like deep or like have any experiments that you guys go through in there?
I know we're going to be doing a lot of dissections. So we're actually going to get to dissect different animals in that class.
Wow.
Okay.
And we also get to take a field trip to the aquarium. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's pretty fun too.
Okay, so zoology got the specialties.
Right. We've got lots of dead animals that we get to look inside of.
I mean, yeah, that's so cool. Honestly, I'm over here thinking like, oh, forensic science, that's the class to be in for majors. But I guess zoology has its perks too as well.
It does.
Sometimes bias can be such a pain.
Yep, we're learning
such
about
a
that in class
blinder.
too, right? Like
Really?
that our
We
perceptions are
right.
faulty frequently, and that we do allow our biases to take over. So
That is so cool how that applies to this. Wow. That is awesome.
Shows the real life applications of it that even in just like
Exactly.
something that's unrelated, well, semi-unrelated, it still
Right.
affects. Wow.
Right. And that's something that I try to really hammer, like that's one thing that I really try to focus on with my lessons is to make sure like there's so many applications to this, especially with the forensic psych unit that I made up. Like it is about that can be applied to romantic relationships, just friendships and serial killers. So it's beneficial all around.
Gives me Criminal Minds vibes. Which, speaking of, let's get into some more personal questions.
Oh no.
So, what do you believe is the most accurate forensic show?
I saw this question and I was like, oh no. I don't watch TV like that. I just
What?
never really do.
Really?
Yes, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of them have a lot of inaccuracies, but as you may have caught on, sometimes I can be a little pedantic. And so when you're saying a word, or like zoology, it's not zoo, it's zoo. So when I'm watching those shows, especially now that I'm teaching it and
Just can't
learning
ingest
all of
it.
that, I can't even.
You're like, oh, I just know.
I mean, I used to watch Dexter a long time ago and thought, oh, that's really neat. And then turns out that no, none of that's really very accurate. Maybe the
Do you have
serial
a-
killing aspect, but not the blood splatter analysis.
Do you have one that's like a least accurate? Do you have one where you just watched and you were like, oh my gosh, like this is just terrible?
All of them. Anyone's I've shown a few clips
Just
in class
cancel them
here and
all.
there, and I'm like, nope, I can't watch the. Nope. Yeah, they're doing that. Oh, why would they even? I can't.
They're
I
all
just can't.
terrible.
They're
If
all
you want
terrible.
to be a forensics expert, do not watch these shows.
I mean, maybe like Cold Case File, maybe the documentary type things. Those are probably a lot more accurate because they're showing actual police work happening. Well,
Oh, like the 51 hours show, or what was it?
47.
47
40,
hours?
I have no idea. But
40 or
48
48.
hours.
I think it's
Yeah,
48.
But yeah, something like that probably has more accuracy because there's actual procedures in place as opposed to the crime shows, which don't.
Going back to forensics and animals, and I'll like Jack ask this question about the animals. You do have animals in your class,
I
right?
do.
Yeah.
I've got two snakes, Jack and Jake. Jack the Ripper, because obviously he's a serial killer.
Oh, sure. It's not after your favorite podcast host?
No, it has nothing to do with it. I'm just kidding.
Ow. Wow.
Just deflate. No, but
Do y'all hear that? The listeners of the Pulse podcast, the snake is not named after our co-host Jack.
but if he wants to think so, I may have burst that bubble to whoever might actually listen to this. But you can still go on thinking so. I will not
I'll believe
correct
so.
anybody in person. I'll only correct them this way.
Behind the microphone. That's where all of the trash talking occurs.
Exactly. And then there's Jake the Snake, which I recognized right after I picked it because I was thinking Adventure Time, Ben the dog and Jake the human. And so I was like, oh, Jake the Snake. And then as soon as I said that, I was like, oh, that's also a wrestler who came out with snakes. But it was not my first connection. No.
Which snake is your favorite?
Oh, goodness. I don't make sure they don't hear this. So because I don't want them to.
We'll make sure, they
But
can be a
it's
little...
probably Jack the Ripper just because he's, the serial
the-
killer snake.
yeah.
He's the grumpy one.
Jacks are always people's favorites.
See, sometimes that happens.
Do you plan on getting any more pets for your classroom?
I've thought about it and I've been offered many pets, but it turns out I have a budget for how many animals I can feed.
What?
And
Really?
so, not through the school, just personally.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go over that. So no more animals at this point in time, but we'll see what happens. Once you have that heart, you sometimes are like, fine, I'll take it all. I'll just move stuff around, whatever, it'll be fine. But no, do not offer me your animals, please.
As a little bit of a finisher,
Mm-hmm.
we asked Miss Barbara this question on the other episode, but from last year being so hard and so difficult, what are some things that you were excited to do in your forensics class this year or zoology?
Well,
I would
in
say.
both classes, I'm just really excited to actually get to engage with the students. That's really, I really love getting to engage with you guys and getting to know you and go on and, watch you develop as people. And so getting to actually do that and hopefully do it all year seems like, instead of having all of those pauses and breakups that we had before. That's the thing that I'm most excited about, just being able to have a long-term connection through the year with you guys. So, and also I get to wear whatever clothes I want. So
That's always a plus. Yes. Creativity and clothing.
Well, I think that's going to be about all we have for today.
thank you for having me.
Yeah, of
Thank
course.
you for being here.
Yeah, it was a
You're
pleasure to have you.
So charismatic.
Me?
Love the energy that you just radiate.
Oh goodness!
I know you guys
At
cannot
home,
see it,
I
but
don't
she is
say
just-
anything.
I
Never
just
talk.
go in my room, I read a book, I go to bed.
Right.
Repeat.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me again. It was nice seeing you.
Yeah, it was
And
nice
I will
seeing
see
you
you
too.
tomorrow. Well,
Always, yes.
yes.
Well, if you stay tuned, we're going to bring Kaisha Cathey on for the next segment. So stay tuned as we play some music to bridge it over.
You guys will be right back. What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back to the Pulse Podcast. Now, our second guest of the episode is with us, Miss Kaisha Cathey. Say hi to everybody, Kaisha, on the podcast.
Hey y'all.
Back again with Mr. Jack Harjo to be my co-host as he will kick us off with our first question to Miss Cathey.
Well, Miss Cathey, just right off the back, I want to ask you, when you're not dominating on the mat, what do you like to do in your free time?
Oh, and just a little information
yeah.
before we
Yeah,
start.
you wanna-
Miss Kaisha is a state-ranked wrestler for our Broken Arrow Public Schools Wrestling Organization. She is also nationally ranked. Okay, just to make sure y'all got it. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and take off with that first question, just to give y'all some context, because she is one of the best of the best.
All right. So what I like to do in my free time when I'm not on the mat is sleep. Because
It takes it out of you.
I'm so for real because wrestling is like a whole body sport. I'm tired.
Yeah.
Especially if we do 2-a-days, we lift, we run, we're beating up on each other 24/7. So of course I'm gonna sleep.
Of course.
That's-
That's a good answer, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
because we all need that rest.
I will
But
sleep all day. All day.
But after a hard night on the mat, what is one of your favorite places to eat at? And if you don't have one, what is most ideal?
I like seafood. So Blue Coast smacks. I would eat Blue Coast all day, or even that like a fat burger and fries.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, I'm right there with you. You know how I celebrate.
I'm grub, but
When you go to Blue Coast, what kind of like what's your ideal meal? You like seafood? So what do you like to go for, huh?
okay. So like, there's this deal. I know it. Oh, I know.
We are talking about food on the post.
Right before lunch.
This is our starting point right here. This is what we're all about.
Hey, it's right
Broken
before
Arrow.
lunch, so
It is right before lunch. We gotta get ourselves ready.
It's a D4 meal, right? And come with like snow crab, shrimp. I get shrimp with no head because I don't want my shrimp looking at me. That's weird. It's potatoes in there, and I get like extra spicy because if it's not like hot, I'm not gonna eat it. Right. Especially for seafood.
I have one more filler question before we get into the real stuff. Miss Kaisha Cathey, what is your favorite artist?
Now you know that's a wide spectrum for me. You feel me? But as you know, I'm married to Brent Fayez. Brent Fayez is my husband. We are married.
Of course.
Him or Giveon, top two. Most definitely.
Beautiful picks, and which I adore and agree.
Do you have a hype artist you listen to like when you're
Young
getting on
Boy.
the mat? Oh, Young
Oh,
Boy. Okay.
I'm telling you, Young Boy got me through all my state titles. I'm telling
Really?
you. Yes.
Wow.
All my warm-up songs, I practice. If it even just like working out just for fun, Young Boy, all the time.
As you should. I feel you on that one. So let's get into the bones, the bones of it.
Right.
The deep. How long have you been a wrestler?
This year, my 4th year.
Wow.
Wow.
So you've been doing it all the way through high school?
Yes, sir.
Wow. Do you think you plan on doing it into college?
Of course. Of course. That's kind of reason. Okay, when I got into wrestling, I hated it. I was just doing it to make my dad happy, to make him shut up about it. But now and then I realized, I was like, dang, I'm kind of good at this. And then I was like, I can get a scholarship for this. I'm going to go all the way. So that's what motivated me to go to college for wrestling.
Oof.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I wish I could just be like, oh, I don't like this, but ooh, I'm good at it. Yeah. Like, my goodness. That's outstanding.
So you do plan on going to college then?
Yes, of course.
Do you have a ideal college in mind that you kind of want to wrestle at?
I mean, I have older friends that already went off to college for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So like my ideal thing would be go up there with one of them, to be together because we wrestle together, and I train with these girls. They come back to Oklahoma to train for the summer. So you want me to say the names of them?
If you like, yeah.
Okay, so there's Grandview University in Iowa. There's CMU, which is in Missouri, and then there's Missouri Baptist, the ones I'm looking at.
Oh, you're done. I thought I was about to interrupt you, but no. And there's a lot of programs in college that actually don't have girls' state wrestling, and that's so insane. You've told me about that before.
Okay, women's wrestling is really new to colleges. Really, most NAIA schools, majority have women's wrestling, but like D1 colleges are just now getting into it. So there's Iowa. I know there's one in South Carolina that has one. So like D1 colleges are really just introducing it to their schools.
Well, it's nice because now it's given that opportunity for the people who are like the girls who are amazing at it in high school, that now they can finally get the same opportunities that like male wrestlers can get.
Right.
And a lot of other male-dominated sports that have those programs,
Right.
It's time for an integration.
Especially for like D1 colleges. My sister wrestles, she's 10, so I know like their programs will be more developed by the time she gets to college, and she'll be really excited to go to like Iowa or OSU, somewhere where it's really big in wrestling.
Well, I'll let Jack ask the next question. I feel like I've been hogging up your time. This is my friend, y'all. So I have to, talk to her like we're just at lunch or something like that. But I'll let Jack ask the next question.
So, along with being a top state wrestler, you're also nationally ranked. How's that feel to be able to hold that like title over a round?
I mean, I've had the top title for the state for a while now, and just this is the highest ranked I've been ever, number 6. and I just know that like I can get to number one. I just have to push myself to be that much better. And I don't know, it just makes me feel like I have a lot of people looking up to me because I have like random people come up to me like, hey Kai, like I don't even know you. How do you even know my name? Like, oh no, I watch wrestling, you know, I'll keep up with you and your sister. Like you guys are doing so good, especially you. I've seen you come up from hating wrestling to all you do is wrestle. So it's just an amazing feeling.
That's amazing. So, in other words,
incredible.
You're basically a celebrity in the women's wrestling community.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, no, I would say it. I would say it right now, right here, that this lady is going to be in the news. The news.
A name to be remembered.
A name to be
Most
remembered.
definitely. I'm trying to leave my mark.
You've definitely left it here on Broken Arrow as you are, what is it, number one ranked in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Is that right? What schools are you specifically looking to attend? I know you listed some names of schools that you were looking at, but which one really caught your eye?
Okay, Missouri Baptist, because I was in Texas for my sister tournament, and they had a booth set up, and you know there's colleges, so I'm going to go talk to them, get my name out there, you know, so they can get to know me. But then like one of the wrestlers stopped me, and like the whole team was there, and we were just started vibing, and I was like, hold on, I like y'all are kind of cool. And then the coaches, like, they constantly reach out to me. They constantly are like, oh, did you get this done? We're so excited to see you. We're setting up visits. So yeah, them and CMU in Missouri, they're both in Missouri.
So it sounds like you have some pretty good like opportunities out there.
Yes, sir.
About to go off. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling y'all right now. Y'all listen to this podcast. Next 5 years, next 5 to 10 years.
It's kind of an honor. It's an honor that we get to be the ones to interview you.
I know. I feel like I'm in the presence of
Y'all
royalty.
make me feel so special.
So let me ask you this.
What's up?
As you're a senior and you're a veteran wrestler.
Make me feel old.
Well, it's good because I wanted to ask
36
you.
and about to retire.
What advice would you give to all the new young women's wrestlers who are like just getting started and like are trying to make
and are like you in a sort, like
Yeah.
are like don't like it, you know, just I'm doing this and this and that. Like
Most definitely, I would say give it time. It's gonna grow on you eventually. You know, it's a hard sport to get into, but you just have to keep pushing. It's gonna get. I'm not gonna say it's gonna get easier. It's not. It's gonna get harder from here. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But like you have to. Wrestling is a mental sport. Your body most likely can do anything that you want it to do. Is can I do this or am I willing to do this? You have to push yourself to be that much better than the next person. And the relationships that you build with the girls on your team is unbelievable. Some of my best friends are wrestlers, and they'll keep up with you. They'll be the ones that push you, the ones that are always there for you.
So I wanted to ask a few more questions to kind of get some background on how you went from last year being, you know, in the ranks, you know, in the talks, but it wasn't at the high point that you were this year. So I want to ask, with how last year went with COVID, how do you feel like you're going to progress more this year? Because I know a lot of stuff got dimmed down last year. What do you think puts you at an advantage?
Last year most definitely was a hardship for me because I was hurt before regionals. So I didn't know if I was going to be back in time to perform how I wanted to perform. And COVID most definitely set everybody back already because we didn't get to do as many duels or as many tournaments that we get to do this year. So this year we're going to many out of state tournaments, and we're just looking for state this year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that is amazing. Well, Jack, do you have anything else?
Just wanted to say we can't wait to see you at state.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you nationally ranked, going in the high ups. Yeah, so
Committing soon.
Oh, that's coming soon. Oh, yes, we're going to see it. We're going to see it in the headlines. We're going to be, I'm telling y'all, 5 to 10 years, y'all be on the lookout for Miss Aisha Cathey as we wrap up our Pulse podcast. Second episode of the school year, and along with my co-host, Mr. Jack Harjo right here.
It's always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. We will see y'all on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for listening, and you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
And YouTube, I believe.
and YouTube.